Because we're a great nation, our challenges seem complex. It will always be this way. But as long as we remember our first principles and believe in ourselves, the future will always be ours. And something else we learned. Once you begin a great movement, there's no telling where it'll end. We, the people. We, the people, tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We, the people, are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go, and by what route, and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. We, the people, are free. But man is not free unless government is limited. There's a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts. Nothing is less free than pure communism. We must keep up our guard, but we must also continue to work together to lessen and eliminate tension and mistrust. It's still trust, but verify. It's still play, but cut the cards. It's still watch closely, and don't be afraid to see what you see. You won every battle with every call you made and letter you wrote demanding action. Well, action is still needed. This national feeling is good, but it won't count for much, and it won't last unless it's grounded in thoughtfulness and knowledge. And informed patriotism is what we want. And are we doing a good enough job teaching our children what America is and what she represents in the long history of the world? We've got to do a better job of getting across that America is free. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of enterprise, and freedom is special and rare. It's fragile. It needs production. So we've got to teach history based not on what's in fashion, but what's important. Why the Pilgrims came here, who Jimmy Doolittle was, and what those 30 seconds over Tokyo meant. If we forget what we did, we won't know who we are. Let's start with some basics. More attention to American history and a greater emphasis on civic ritual. And let me offer lesson number 1 about America. All great change in America begins at the dinner table. So tomorrow night in the kitchen, I hope the talking begins. And children, if your parents haven't been teaching you what it means to be an American, let them know and nail them on it. That would be a very American thing to do. I've spoken of the shining city all my political life, but I don't know if I ever quite communicated what I saw when I said it. But in my mind, it was a tall, proud city built on rocks stronger than oceans, windswept, God-blessed, and teeming with people of all kinds living in harmony and peace. Goodbye. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Couldn't have said it no better myself.
No, it's always good hearing the Gippa.
The Gippa dropping facts.
Now, whatever happened to presidents like that?
They all died. Just being honest. That was a generation that he was, to be totally honest, he was the last good president or great president. Let me rephrase it. He was the last great president I think we had. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bush 1 and Bush 2, they had their high points and low points. And Trump, of course, tried to get things back on track, but they weren't the giver.
Yeah, I mean, that was a guy, even if you didn't agree with all of the policies that, were coming out at the time, he was one of the last guys that could sit there and just talk and inspire you, Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah, you'll never find. I mean, you've got plenty on the other side. They're a bunch of ideologues that, pushing whatever stupid ass agenda. They'll get out there and they love to hear themselves talk. But somebody, either he had a really good writing team or he was genuine, or maybe it's a combination of the two. He by far was one of the best speaking presidents that I can recall.
He had fucking swag. That's all I can say.
Well, yeah. I mean,
People listened. I mean,
yeah,
his words didn't fall on deaf ears, man. When he spoke, it had purpose.
exactly. And see, Patriot Nation brings up a good point. He didn't really care about your feelings. He believed in the power of the people. That says it all right there. I mean, the statement he made in what you just played, I mean, it tells you right there. It's not about him wanting to control you or the government wanting to control you or anything else. It's about the people. It's always been about the people. It should always be about the people.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I think right now. Well, yeah, since him has been lost. It was partisan back then as well, but he actually loved the country. He loved what the country stood for.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Sure.
a big enough man. He was a big enough man to say, you know what? I was in a party that was screwing this country over, and he changed.
Mm-hmm.
And, all for love of country.
Yep, I agree. Absolutely. Well, now we're inspired, Vanguard.
Well, I mean, look, he had one of the largest presidential funerals known to history of the United States. That says something. I mean, that says he had the respect of the people, right? And it was also one of the longest funerals, by the way.
Yeah.
What was it, like 120 days or something like that?
It was long. I don't remember exactly. The one thing about there's two things I remember about Reagan when he was in office. One, when the FTC went on strike, and he said okay, and he brought in military to take over those jobs. And two, when he went and gave the big FU to Libya, which was around the time I was graduating high school, so I was saying, "Oh fuck." But yeah, absolutely. Those are just the two things. Whenever I think of Reagan, those are the two instances that come to mind first that I'll always remember. So,
Like I said, he was one of the biggest, not the biggest.
no, but he was. I think he was genuine, and I think he. It's like we were just saying, he understood that everybody's supposed to be there to serve the people. His job was to serve the people, the will of the people, not the party, not the bedshitter regime and what they serve, which is anything that speaks Mandarin. Yeah, so definitely somebody you can at least get behind and respect for the views, I think.
Yeah, and I've been trying to play that for 3 lives now, and wound up downloading the soundbite.
Yes, you have.
For some reason, that particular video, for some reason, is like, I don't know if it's encrypted or what's going on, but man, I could play all kinds of videos and then click on that one, and it just goes into spool mode, man. I'm like, what in the hell?
Dude, I'm telling you, it's the algorithm on ScrewTube. They don't want the Gipper talking.
Well, it's easy to find out they don't want facts.
Well, hell no. Facts, that's hate speech, dude.
True. But, maybe that's why. Because, he was the one that said freedom is never more than one generation away.
He's spot the fuck on, too.
And, yeah, the man nailed it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. So America needs to wake up. I mean, and we're going to talk about several different things here. I know the caption says jail or no jail, but here's the thing. They didn't lock Trump up. I may have been wrong on my judgment of saying that they would, but however, that DA has backpedaled and they're claiming that he put out misinformation, that he's not getting arrested or whatever, that it's still in grand jury, blah, blah, whatever. All right. So I don't want us to lose sight, and that's why it says things that we are missing, because I've been getting a lot of buzz on the cryptocurrencies, stuff like that, things that we're missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a gentleman walk up to me today, and I don't know how I missed this because I normally stay on top of the business sense of America, but I think this one currency thing is starting to gain ground. I mean, it's picking up speed.
Which one currency are we talking about, brother?
World currency.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that shit.
So they're definitely wanting to go to digital currency in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts on that is regulation is the only reason. That's the only reason I could think about it.
Control.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've had this discussion before. I mean, think about this. If everything was to go digital and you were designated a terrorist, a domestic terrorist, I don't know, a white supremacist, I mean, pick whatever buzzwords they're currently using, since they've weaponized all the alphabet agencies against everyone. They literally could seize everything you have with a keystroke.
So basically, every straight white male, and especially every Christian straight white male,
Mm-hmm.
would be labeled as a terrorist.
Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
And Ozzy, you make a good point. Who would trust digital? It's not about us trusting them. What you got to think about this. By Trump getting out there and getting in front of this, which I truly think is part of what happened, and it got out of the scope of control for this dumbass DA in New York. It gave the feds the opportunity in this regime to do a bunch of shit behind the scenes because it's smoke and mirrors. If we're all focused on Trump and, another set of riots in New York or this, that, or the other, we're not paying attention to what's going on everywhere else. Okay? And that's what they want.
Yeah. Always look at the other hand.
Oh, yeah. We'll look at the other 2 or 3 hands. These fuckers are like Shiva. Isn't that the one that's got the 4 or 6 arms?
Right.
So, but yeah,
So yeah, if you were going to do, this is another thing, if you were going to do a digital currency that was worldwide, everybody followed it, would that not require basically a great reset?
It would.
Eventually, yeah. Because you'd have to. What would happen, and Vanguard, you correct me if I'm wrong here, maybe speaking out of turn, it'd be kind of like when Britain was in the European Union and basically the pound was carrying every fucking body else. That's what caused Brexit, if I'm not mistaken. What would happen is all these little pissant countries that their money's not worth toilet paper, you'd be better off wiping your ass with it. The good economies would you'd have to bring the bad currency up and lower the good currency, all to be worth the same across the board, right? But
right.
am I on the right path here?
You're correct, but the way currency value is supposed to be placed is by the holder of gold, precious metals.
Right.
And, a lot of people get a misconception, Dubai and all these countries, Saudi Arabia, all that shit's got more gold. That's not true. America, the United States, has 3 times the amount of gold. I think it's 8,000 and some few hundred tons of gold. which is 3 times more than the second place country.
Right.
So by that impact, precious metals, right, by the way it's supposed to be, is whoever holds the most gold supposed to have the highest value numerically as money, right? But that's not the case anymore.
Mhm.
Even though the gold's there to back it, it's just not. I don't know. It's crazy. I think Vietnam's the furthest off, or something like that. I mean, you can take $1,000 US and go to Vietnam and live like a king for 10 years.
Correct.
Of course, you may lose a fucking kidney or some shit while you're sleeping, but I mean, that's just the way it's broke down.
Right. Right.
Now, are they being honest about the gold amount? I don't know, because they count what's considered below the ground and which is potential to grasp, right? And then they count what's actually in the reserves. Now, I got an interesting fact for y'all. Speaking of money, and everybody I don't want everybody to get off the live, but I'm going to do this live. Now I'm pulling some cash out of my wallet to give y'all a description. Okay. I've got 10 different bills here. And I'm looking for something on them. And this is going to kind of freak y'all out a little bit. Let me find the dates. And these are C notes now. All right. First one. 2017. Second one, 2017. Third one, 2009. Fourth one, 2017. Y'all see where I'm going, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I challenge you to find me a bill that was printed after 2017. Just one.
See, now you're making me want to fish around and see if I got any. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. But, there's got to be some bit, maybe not C notes, but there's got to be some bills somewhere that are getting printed after 2017 because Janet Yellen's printing them some bitches like wallpaper.
And she says that this economy is doing great. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to look over here. 17. I got a brand new Chris dollar bill right here. Brand new. Never been in a stripper's crack, right? Guess what date's on it?
2017.
2017. I got another brand new one. 2017.
Well, you may be onto something. Maybe that's when they adjusted the money against counterfeiting or whatever. That was the last adjustment, and so that was the last batch they printed. I never really looked at it.
well, I mean, we all know it's fiat currency, so it is just the dollar is worth what the market or the government says it's worth. I was actually listening to a podcast this morning talking about how since 1972, the dollar has lost 85% of its worth. Figure that. I mean,
Well, sure. I remember, I don't know if I got any here or not, but back when I was a teenager, I used to, or even when I was younger, when I was a little kid, I'd buy comic books. Back then, you could go to like the 7-Eleven or wherever, they have a little comic book stand when you come in the door. And used to, on the comic book cover, it would say it had American price, it had a Canadian price. And the Canadian price was usually in Canadian money about $1. It was usually about, I'm going to say 30 to 40% more than the American price was. And once Obama bin Laden got in office, that price at one point, if I'm not mistaken, actually switched. It was less in Canadian than it was in American.
Right.
Just to give you an example of what you're talking about. Just
Now, here's Here's the underlying theory behind my 2017 synopsis that I'm giving y'all.
Okay.
So now here's the second question. How many times have you went to the store and got brand new bills that have never been folded, never been damaged, has no wear on them? I get them all the time. I mean, all the time, right?
Okay.
So these were printed in 2017.
Okay.
Now, that's not to say the federal government's not distributing new money. Well, it was new in 2017.
Right.
So why did they stop printing money in 2017 if there was not some underlying plan? And I'm conspiracy theorying here, right?
Sure.
So
So
plan
no.
put in place is what I'm asking.
Yeah, so I mean, you think that they basically had this plan going on, and then the Federal Reserve, basically sat on these, and now is releasing them.
Well, what I'm saying is they had planned on doing this, so they went ahead and printed enough money that they predicted would last to recirculate bad money out, torn money or whatever it is, rip cotton, what I call it. But
Yeah.
that's a long time ago. We're talking 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you print off that much money 6 years ago?
If you didn't already know it was coming.
Right.
Well, okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute, and I'm by no means trying to give the Fed an out here, but just think this through. Since I don't work in Treasury, maybe, and it's a maybe periodically the Fed prints a large batch of money to rotate out, like you're saying, the old bills, bad bills, whatever, and carry forward for so many years circulating that currency. And basically they're printing it for the future. It's not necessarily that they think there's something hanging out on the horizon. This is just SOP for them every 10 or 15 years. I don't know. This is me just speculating.
So I guess, it costs money to print money.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to me, I mean, if you were doing it in the purely like a you and me business model,
Right.
you wouldn't necessarily print out, another, $500 billion just to have it sit around. I mean, and again, yeah, I don't know anything remotely, like this, but that's a lot of tied up capital to be sitting around at the Fed's, distribution centers.
Well, think about this now. Think about all the money that they pay out to these fucking governments and shitbag rebels and terrorist groups that they're trying to support one way or another. Think all the backdoor dealing you've got going on with money. I mean, look at Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're constantly doing these payoffs, think about like all those pallets of money that went to Iraq.
Exactly. That's what I was just going to say. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't mean to steal your thunder there.
Oh, no.
Same wavelength. That money's got to be replaced. And you got to remember, the Treasury certainly can print trillions of dollars and let it sit somewhere because they don't fucking back it with anything anymore.
Well, that's true.
See, if they backed it, that'd be a different story. Now, like what Vanguard was saying about, they use democratic math and say, well, it's guaranteed by prospective, gold reserves we have underground, all this shit. Well, I'm old school. If I can't put my hands on it, I ain't got it. You feel me? So if I don't have gold bars in a vault somewhere that add up to the amount of printed money, then there's a discrepancy. I don't give a fuck how much you say may be in the ground.
Right.
That doesn't mean shit. So
So they printed money. Here's every year that they printed money and then stopped, right? 01, 02, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, fuck it. I'll just sum it up. Every year up to 2017.
Huh.
So it's not like they do it every 3 years or every 6 years. They printed money by volume. Volume of notes printed from, and this is just a short layout, 2001 all the way to 2017.
So my question would be, what year was the first of the big payoffs to everybody? You know, people getting these huge COVID checks and stuff like that. 2019,
19, right?
2020.
yeah, but that was all digital. They weren't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, it's all like it's all made up money. It's fucking monopoly money.
right.
Um,
Now,
but- go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got one question on the money that Vanguard was talking about. He had said 2017 on it. Was it all minted in the same mint? Did you look at that?
Let me look.
Because I know there's Atlanta, there's Los Angeles, there's Chicago, there's New York, there's Dallas. I think there's Kansas City. Forgive me, but I don't know which others. Those are the ones that come to my mind. I remember.
It used to be Denver. Did you say Denver?
No, I didn't say Denver. You're right. I think there is one in Denver as well.
Well, I don't even see that on. Well,
I think
Is
it
there
used
a
to be
letter?
San Francisco.
There should be a letter.
yeah. So this one, the first one, 2017, was printed in G3.
Oh, they've changed them.
The next one was printed in A4. The next one, 2009, was printed in C1. 2017 printed in C3. 2017 printed in F2. So it's all different ones. They're coming from different.
Yeah, what they've done. Okay, used to, if you're looking at a dollar bill, you've got the green stamp with the dollar amount on the right of the portrait. Right. On the left of the portrait, it used to have a circle with a letter in it in the city.
Right.
And that's not on here anymore.
That may be on the dollars. Let me look.
It used to be on everything.
Fuck, I'm blind. All right, that one says New York. That's an old dollar bill. Now let me pull out a new one here. Same thing. 2017, New York.
Okay.
Here's another one. 2017, Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. Is that a dollar?
Yep, these are dollar bills.
Okay. Well, maybe they only do it to the smaller bills. I'll have to go back and see if I've got an older 100 floating around somewhere. But yeah, I mean, I was just wondering if they were being minted, being printed all in the same location, or it was scattered around. Washington, D.C., I think, is one too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I
That's
think
money. So there's a lot of them. I think Philadelphia too.
right. So they're all, I mean, judging by the numbers that I just looked at and the lettering, I mean, they come from different places but printed the same year.
Right.
It's just weird. I found that weird.
Well, see, now I'm gonna have to go back and start paying attention because I don't deal a lot in cash. I apologize. I use a debit card a lot, but that's because it's easier for me to track expenses on some things. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look at my cash and pay more attention.
Yeah, I don't know. I watch weird things like that, man.
You're right, Highlander. We actually talked about silver certificates one night on one of the lives. I showed one that I had just to give people an example of what they used to look like and how it said they were guaranteed by the silver, which I thought was interesting. Well, I mean, that's probably one of those things, that kind of just slips in. And if people aren't paying attention or know to notice it, because think about it, most people nowadays are like me. Cash is not carried a lot. I mean, I've been in places that don't want cash. And God forbid if you've got somewhere that needs to make change, they'll tell you, due to the national coin shortage, blah, 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 exact change is required. What, COVID ate all the fucking quarters?
That's what I was going to ask. Where did all the coins go?
That's what I'm saying. It's horseshit.
Saudi Arabia, Iraq? I mean, where did they go?
Coinstar's got all of them.
Coinstar.
There you go.
Damn Coinstar Ferry.
For a while, well, I still do this actually. Everybody keeps money put back for emergencies, right? I purposely roll all of our change. And I know it's a lot, it weighs a shit ton, but I actually have hundreds of dollars in change that I've rolled and just keep put up. Because if you ever need that, number one, that hard currency is going to have to get awfully fucking hot to melt. So if paper burns, the coins might still be there. And two, the actual coin currency might actually be usable if you ever need it in an emergency or a pinch. At least for that first week when shit hits the fan. After that, it ain't gonna be no good either. Use it in a slingshot to shoot at people. That'd be about it.
You put it in a shotgun if it's small enough.
This
Stack
is true.
of dimes. Stack of dimes.
Yep.
This is true. You can fuck some people up with roll
Roll
dimes.
dimes. Yep.
Man.
Actually, you would have to have a 16 gauge to be able to shoot them.
I have a 16 gauge.
Okay, because a dime won't fit in a choke 12 gauge. Don't ask me why I know this. I'm just saying.
It sounds like you were having you were imbibing something one evening and said, "Hey, I'm gonna try something."
Well, that's actually how I measure my choke patterns in my shotguns.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely sounds like a hold my beer episode.
No, so a dime, if you put a dime in there, the head down, if it doesn't cover the president's ears, it's full choke. If it covers the president's ears, it's modified choke.
Okay.
That's an old gun knowledge for y'all. Money's been used for a lot of things, right? Checking the trail on your tires, checking the choke on your gun, all that good stuff.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yes, sir.
but they won't fit. I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe the old Mercury dimes will, but
I'm not shooting mercury dimes. I'll melt them bitches down.
Right?
I have a pile of those.
Hey, they're nice. I would love to have some myself. I absolutely hate. I call them the Obama pennies, the new pennies that have the little shield on the back and they're real shiny. They're fake like he is. I hate those pennies.
I hate the new quarters.
Yeah, the new quarters, just as bad. I'm gonna call those the Biden quarters. So they look like they're made of Chinesium. But
Did y'all see the video where what are they called? What was Jen Psaki? I forget what they call them.
Press secretary?
Press secretary. Yeah, that bitch. The new one, right? She had an actor on there, two actors. One of them's the real goofy guy that plays in
Ted Lasso.
Is that his name?
That's the show.
I don't know the name of the actor, but yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
I saw that video. It was awesome.
He was in Horrible Bosses.
Yeah, that guy. So you seen where they asked him something about being the president or something like that, and he's like, "Well, we would first need to get." He said, "I'd have to have fake teeth and fake skin or some shit like that."
No,
Did you hear that?
No.
Yeah, so he took a shot, right? On national television.
Wow, that's awesome.
Good for him.
What was his name? I'm gonna see if I can get it to play.
But yeah, we might be talking about two different videos. I was just talking about the one that that guy from the press was like, "You haven't called on me in like 7 fucking years." You know, this isn't the Soviet Union. This isn't Cuba. This isn't China.
So what was his name?
Hold on, let me look. I'll have it for you in a minute. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he played in the Miller Family, man. I watched that movie. So
He was in Horrible Bosses too. It was Jason Sudeikis.
yeah, okay. Jason.
Sudeikis.
Okay.
Sounds Greek.
He's funny as shit, dude.
Yeah, he's funny, man. He's Becca's White House. Let's see if it. Please tell me I can find it.
You know, speaking of celebrities taking shots, I do miss there used to be a handful of people in Hollywood that actually I think had a little Patriot blood in them, but you don't hear from them so much, like James Woods, John Voight. I think not Mel Gibson. Bruce Willis was, but he's got issues, health issues. We won't hear from him anymore. It was refreshing to hear a few of them, you know, actually break the mold and speak up about, you know, the Republic going in the shitter.
Dude, Richard Dreyfuss, which I thought was totally weird, has his own little Instagram / YouTube thing. You can look him up, and I was totally amazed. You know,
Really?
He's like, you know, this country's going to shit, and it's because we're not being taught, you know, the documents that actually founded our country, you know, are purposely not being taught by the people in charge now. And he has this whole thing going on. Yeah, I was amazed.
Rob Schneider, as he said, also was another one. Cool.
Yeah, you had a lot of closet patriots, you know, well, not patriots, but you had a lot of closet, you know, conservatives. Hell, you remember, you may remember this. You remember Reagan from, oh God, it was back on MTV. She was the kind of really cute chick, had glasses, blonde hair. You would have thought she was super liberal.
Yeah.
Well, during the Obama years, she finally came out and was like, I hated it. It was a job. I had to do it, you know, for the cash and everything. But yeah, these people are just insane. You know.
Right.
So what's the actor? I don't know why his name is escaping me. I watch him all the time. He played in Turner and Hooch.
Tom
Not
Hanks,
not Turner and Hooch. Tango and Cash.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell is extreme conservative.
Okay.
Like he was on a talk show. I don't remember which one it was, but he lit into their ass, man. I mean, oh yeah. It was bad.
Well, I mean, you don't fuck with Snake Plissken.
That's right.
So, also another one, Mark Wahlberg, and this is not on political stance, but somebody said something to him about, because he's real religious. He believes in God and all that stuff, and you know, it's going through that phase now in the U.S. where if you believe in God, they're going to try to cancel you, right?
Yeah.
So he was doing an interview, and he told him flat out. He said, "Yeah, I believe in God. I hardcore believe in God." And he said, "I'm not going to change that for anybody." And he named his religion and all that, and he said, "Cancel me." And he got up and walked out.
See, I've always liked Wahlberg because I think I think he's one of them dudes that this is me. If you don't like it, there's a door.
Yeah. So did you ever see the movie where he played the porn star?
No, sorry.
No.
T.
I mean, it was actually it was an interesting movie, but he actually, I heard an interview with him, and he apologized for making the movie because he's a hardcore Catholic. Okay.
Okay.
Super nice. Apparently everybody says super nice guy, but he actually was like, in hindsight, if I had that choice to make again, I would have turned that down in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's got the regrets, but that's not the worst thing he ever done. I mean, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, that was pretty.
That was pretty awful, man.
I mean, yeah.
Thanks for that hate, Jay. I'm appreciating it, brother.
Well, I mean, Sylvester Stallone did porno too,
Again, just not my thing. Funny thing about Sylvester Stallone, he's a little bitty dude. He's not a big guy as far as height. He's short.
Yeah, George Strait could kick his ass.
George Strait could kick anybody's ass except for, well, what's his name? That one guy.
Who, Dwight Yoakam? Who you talking about?
Oh, hell no, not Dwight. Dwight's pretty cool too, though. Chuck Norris.
Hey, don't mess with the Chuck.
That's what I'm saying. King George could beat up anybody except for Chuck Norris.
Yeah, so Sylvester Stallone is 5'10".
I thought he was shorter than that.
No,
You sure that's
5'10".
not with platforms?
Yeah, 5'10".
Like 310.
Okay, well, I guess he's not as short as I thought he was. I thought he was shorter.
That's pretty short.
Hey.
Well, fuck, I'm 5'11".
I
I know compared to some people, I'm a short motherfucker, but I mean,
Oh, shit.
I
It
can
must be
reach
a,
most stuff.
must be a
Yeah, I
hobby
think-
because I'm
I
5'10".
think, T, when I'm walking around, I'm fucking scared of heights.
Yeah, well, you somebody supersized your ass.
Hey, it runs in the family. I think my grandmother was a giant. I think they told me she was 6'7" or 6'8" or some shit like that.
What the hell?
God, that'd be awesome. You could pick the stuff off the top of the, at the grocery store.
Shit, you wouldn't need a ladder when you go to pull the damn apples and shit out the tree. Just reach up and snatch one.
Right?
Man, my
Christmas
whole
lights.
man, my whole family's like that, man.
Wow. Okay.
Who needs a ladder? They could just stack two of you up. You can put Christmas lights up and everything.
Look, if you could imagine like some Vikings rolling up on a fucking beach about to storm your ass,
There you go.
we're that family.
Awesome. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Hey, cool.
Bearded roughnecks, man. That's what it
That's
is.
all right. You don't have to make no excuses. Nothing wrong with that.
And our family is 100% fuck your feelings.
Good. Awesome. Okay.
I mean,
Well-
we're not assholes.
No,
We
but
do anything for you.
There's a big difference between being an asshole and fuck your feelings.
yeah, that just means you don't believe in safe spaces and political correctness.
Correct.
Yeah.
No cry rooms here.
Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna cry a river, carry your ass across the street.
And you got to be thick-skinned because if you say some bullshit, we're going to call you out on it instantly. Like, we're not going to sit there and mull it over and be like, what did he just say? No, we're going to question that shit right there on the spot. Like, you lying motherfucker.
You see, Jay is spreading the love, right?
Well,
Well, well, never mind. I won't say.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
God, I want to. Oh, shit.
Oh, we ran all off in the rails on this one.
It's the big red button is right there, and it says "push me." I want to.
I know. It's like the nuclear codes.
Yeah.
Click it.
Click it. Well, the
What'd you
G spot's only 2 inches deep, so 4 inches is way too long.
Push the goddamn button. Damn. Oh shit.
Well, moving right along.
Hey, well, I mean, I'm just saying, something a half inch long moving at 2,300 feet per second does some fucking damage. You know what I'm saying?
This is true.
Hmm.
I mean, I've seen some things a half inch long moving at 2,200 feet per second, and yeah, shit happens. So, well, I guess my question is: do you think they're actually going to try
Look at it.
to charge Trump at some point?
Look at the replies. Now look at the next one.
Oh shit!
All right, my bad, T. Talk about.
Just damn. All right. Do you think that they're actually going to eventually try and charge Trump?
I think so, but it's going to be time critical. So,
Yeah, I think. Again, I know we went over this last time, but I truly think what happened here was this was going to be a perp walk. That's what they wanted. It blew up in their face, got bigger than they could control because Trump put it out there before they did. They tried to regain control of the narrative and failed miserably. And so their only option, they've only got two options now. That fucktard DA's only got two options. One, you're absolutely right, Patriot Nation. Don't poke the bear if you ain't got damn bear spray. So they either have to wash their hands of it, which his ego's not going to do that, I don't think, because he's trying to make a point. He's trying to make political points. Or wait until something else is going on or things settle down, then do one of these, Mar-a-Lago 2.0s and try to catch him at Trump Tower and get him that way. And he's going to want to do it when he can maximize the coverage. The problem I think he's going to run into is he's not going to be able to just roll up in there and arrest Trump because the Secret Service ain't going to allow it. He's going to have to coordinate it with the Secret Service. Hence, the Secret Service is going to let Trump know what's going on. That's where his problem is, right there. Because if Trump knows, what do you think Trump's going to do?
Same thing he did this time.
Because I'm willing to bet, I'll bet you a fucking steak dinner that they had all this shit set up and the Secret Service came to Trump and said, look, they've got a grand jury. You already know this. This is what's going to happen. We're not going to allow them to do X, Y, Z. Okay, when that happened, Trump said, well, I know how to fix this. I'll play it against them. He got right out there on social media, dropped that fucking bomb, and watched the rats scurry like they were on the fucking Titanic. See, he's playing them against each other, in my opinion.
I mean, that's a good strategy.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what he's doing, cool.
But there could be another. I mean, there could be another shit show coming, right? Something to maybe take everybody's eye off the prize, and then they'll do what they do.
Right. But even so, they're going to have to coordinate with the Secret Service. You see what I'm saying? Even if they'll still be able to do it, but it's going to be almost impossible for them to do like they did Mar-a-Lago and just swoop in and make it happen, because since Trump is the key person they're coming after, there's a bunch of moving parts. And because he's a former sitting president, the Secret Service is directly involved. And that's where they're running into the problem, I think. Because this guy, he has a hard on for Trump. He wants to perp walk his ass and make a name for himself. That's what this is all about. Just saying.
I mean, I think you're accurate. And I mean, the best thing he did was get out in front of it and just completely shut him down.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
everybody's seen fucking 8 Mile, right? Seen the movie,
yeah.
right? So he rapped and talked shit about himself, and then the other guy was like, "Well, fuck,
Mm-hmm.
what we gonna do now?"
Yep. You know, they stole the thunder. So he's going to have to come up with the money. I mean, the whole premise is fucking retarded. It's a waste of taxpayer money, and this is all for show. This is to try and discredit a person who has a chance of getting reelected. I know for sure the DNC don't want his ass running. And I would imagine the Republicans probably don't either. I mean, we've all heard the statement that shitbag Soros made, that he wants these two fighting. He's wanting DeSantis and Trump at each other, and he's wanting Trump to go independent, because if that happens, then the Democrats are locked in.
Yeah.
They'll win.
So
You pull a Perot.
I'm gonna pull a reference, and it's business management reference. And this, if any of y'all ever took business management or anything like that, or any managerial leadership classes, so in order to micromanage or be allowed to be voluntarily micromanaged, the first thing you want to do is create friction among the people that work for you. Here's why. So if you're creating friction and you get them against each other, one's going to come tell on you or tell on the other party, and then that other party is going to come and tell on the other party, and you're continually just getting information that you really shouldn't be getting, right? But it's a tactic that they're using in the government as well. So you get everybody hating each other. They're not realizing that they're volunteering information that they really should just keep their mouth shut about. So now you've got your rhinos, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's trying to get a feather in their hat on the current regime. And then you've got the Democrats that just blatantly fucking hate everybody anyway. So now you have two teams working together, and they don't even realize it, to pretty much sandbag the whole presidential election and try to spin it in a narrative that they think they can best protect themselves, because it's all CYA. You know, they're going to look at what makes it the easiest for us. If we have Trump in here, he's going to shake shit up, right? He's going to have a question and attitude, which he has. Chuck Schumer fucking hates Trump. Man, he just absolutely hates him, because I seen one of the interviews or the meetings they were having, and he asked Chuck Schumer, why hadn't this been done? Why hadn't that been done? He said, well, it can't be. And Trump said, well, I'll just take care of it myself. You know? And I mean, that's just the way it is.
Well, that's the New Yorker and Trump. That's one thing, you know. While Trump isn't perfect by any means, he's what the country needed at that time, and they needed him by far to stay instead of who's in charge now, because he was going to run it like a business if he was allowed to, I think, because he wasn't interested in politics. He was interested in getting the country back on track, because let's face it, he's a businessman. He wants to succeed as a businessman. Maybe he wanted to add the feather in his cap for being a president, but ultimately Trump's a businessman. Don't forget that.
Yeah, no real businessman goes in there to fail.
No. I have zero respect for Chuck Schumer. He's one of them that needs to go tonight on with Pelosi and Mad Maxine, and they can start their little commune or some shit. They don't need to be here. So, but yeah. I think that I really hope that the country's got some good things ahead instead of more of this ongoing daily dumpster fire we have to deal with. Because I'm tired of looking at it every morning. I get up to sip my damn coffee. It gets old. So,
You know, the good thing is, really, you think of all the states right now that are passing, you know, anti-mutilate your kids legislation.
right.
Sorry. Jeez.
You got an itch there, Fax Man?
Well, the doggy does. Bridget's got the cone of shame. So, but anyway, like I said, you got all these states that are passing, you know, anti-mutilate your kids, turn them into, you know, little whats or its or whatever legislation. It's kind of like a bright spot, you know. You're seeing that not every part of the country is taken over with this new liberal, and this is not a, you know, the classic liberal would be somebody that's open to everybody's you know, thoughts and stuff like that. That's a classic liberal. And as much as I dislike JFK, he's probably one of your last classic liberals. You know, may not agree with you, but we'll listen to your, you know, we'll listen to you and actually have a conversation, not a debate, because debates suck, but have a conversation, you know, about this is my side and this is your side.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
But there seems to be a little bit of that waking up happening, which is nice, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I always think to JFK when he made the statement, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country."
Yeah, exactly.
So I agree with you. He was probably, to me, I think he was probably your last decent Democratic president.
Right.
And you saw what they got him.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
These ones that are in power now are nothing but Marxists and anarchists. That's all they are.
Well, there are a couple other things too.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, you get down to the nitty gritty of it. These people hate America. They hate American values. They hate American culture. You know, a lot of people don't understand that there is an American culture. You know, British culture, German culture.
But you would have to go back 20 years to get a clear view of it.
Yeah, it was that American exceptionalism. You know, we're a beacon of freedom. You know, we kind of do our own thing. But yeah, that's long gone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But they hate it. They hate the whole idea of it. And just like their president, you know, their forever president, as Tracy Abrams says, you know, he did what he came to do. He said he will fundamentally change America, and he did his job.
Yeah,
you gotta give him that.
Absolutely. We screwed the pooch letting that one in the White House.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, brother.
I mean, did y'all see Kamala Harris said that, you know, things are cheaper now, and Things are on the right track.
She's where in Tijuana?
Fuck if I know. It was probably before she got booed out of that game that she went to.
I have yet to
Walmart.
see anything been cheaper.
I don't know. I don't the fuck Walmart she's been shopping at, because she don't.
She's
But-
shopping at the Walmart of the White House. Everything's free.
Right?
She just sends one of her little minions out to go get her shit. That bitch just infuriates me every time I see her. The best thing I ever saw of her was when she was, I want to say she was in Texas when they were running for election. And all those good old boys in their pickup trucks and shit escorted her damn tour bus the fuck out of the damn state or whatever. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how do you respect somebody that went vertical by going horizontal first?
Exactly.
I could really go and be super crude here, and I'm not going to. I mean, she's a lying bitch. And I said that, not only that, but she laughs like a fucking hyena. She lies through her fucking teeth.
And she loves Venn diagrams
Yes.
and electric school buses.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
Well, you
I
know.
don't know how they're going to charge them up in California because the whole fucking northern part of California is out of power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I guess with buckets of electricity, they can just pour it in there.
Well,
Well, they have to use fucking battery powered lawnmowers now, fucking EVs. Okay. Sounds good.
well, I mean, what they'll probably do is they'll go ahead and while they're banning use of canines, you know, in California be used in any kind of police altercation, maybe they're gonna get them all like treadmills and dangle like a T-bone in front of them and let them run on the treadmills. That'll generate power. What you think? I mean, that's some dumb shit that sounds right up their alley.
Oh yeah, it does.
And they'll make the taxpayers pay for it. You know, doesn't matter if it works. So
You would think if you were a normal, and normal in California, I know don't go together. It's kind of like normal in Denver and normal in Austin. But you would think that the normal taxpayer in the San Francisco area, if you had to live there, would just be fucking livid at the taxes that they're paying for reparations,
they are.
for funding, homeless folks. And don't get me wrong, homelessness a lot of time, well, sometimes has nothing to do with being a drug addict, being, whatever, mental illness, something like that.
Right.
Now, I guarantee you 75% of it probably is, but that being said, to actually fund them to stay homeless.
But see, here's
Okay.
the problem with it out there. The people that have got common sense, they recognize it for being a fucked up environment and that it's wrong, but they have nobody to go to change it because all of them are fucking corrupt. All the damn politicians are promoting it. You know, you can't. The God-fearing Americans that are still left there, there's not enough of them to change it.
Right.
So get this. In 2018 to 2019, 130,000 people moved out of California. 2019 to 2020, 144,000. 2020 to 2021, 249,000.
Mm-hmm.
21 to 22, 385,000.
Damn.
All left California. I mean,
Yeah, but here's the problem with it. I mean, that's great that they're fleeing, but they go to say somewhere like, I don't know, let's say
Generally,
pick a red city or red state. They go there They set up camp and they start promoting the very fucking thing that they ran from. Well, we need public transit. Well, we need, we need social services to pay for this, and we need to pay for that, and we need to get gender reassignment here, and we need to get this and get that. And they set up a whole new blue shithole that they were escaping to begin with.
Exactly.
I mean, why flee? Stay the fuck where you're at and live in your damn blue shithole paradise, hell, whatever it is you got. Don't come bringing that damn disease over the rest of the country. Leave it there.
Yep. I mean, that's what, what they call the People's Republic of Austin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're dealing with, is an influx of Californians, people from Colorado, people from Washington.
Yeah.
That do that very same thing.
I mean,
Yeah. Jay, spot on.
yep. He's exactly right. Exactly right. So,
Oh.
I mean, I listen to him. How many people here have seen the Nextdoor app or have it? I mean, I know we got it here. And I can pick out the people from the blue shitholes because they're bitching and moaning about things that they want. Like the county I live in, there's no public transit. The county offers some themselves, but the metro transit system doesn't come into my county. And they keep bitching and moaning, wanting that because they say, "Oh, we had it was great," blah, blah, blah. And I know damn good and well from where I've lived in the past that once those sons of bitches get tax revenue, which they want, it'll never go away, and the service sucks, and all it does is promote more crime. It doesn't help traffic.
No.
It allows the bottom feeding thugs to hop on a damn train or hop on a fucking bus and go further out and get into shit and then hop right back on and come back. And it's like, no, A, I don't want that shit. B, it's not going to relieve traffic. And C, it's just going to, I can tell that you're one of those people who apparently enjoys that shit. I've gotten in verbal sparrings with these people. It's like, what's going to happen eventually? I said, yeah, it might, but I'm not going to let it happen as long as I'm able.
You're right, though. It's just streamlining criminals.
Yeah, that's all it is. I want when they opened up, I remember when they built, well, at the time, it was the northernmost rapid transit rail system station up for my grandmother's. Right after that bitch was built, her house was broken into twice. And her house was across the street from a fucking fire station.
Well, they didn't burn it down.
No, but they fucked it up and went through it and stole shit. Just
Well,
saying.
think about this too. You got to think about the location of bus garages. I know in our major cities, those bus garages where they store all these public transit buses, that's usually the worst fucking neighborhood in the city.
Oh, yeah.
The worst.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you go in these towns, they say, hey, don't go over there, don't go near the bus garage. Don't go down there.
No. I know where the bus garage is for these, and it's not a. You can paint a pile of shit any color you want, it's still a pile of shit. I'm sorry.
Yep.
So I understand firemen don't prevent crime, Jay. I got that. But back in the day, you would think people wouldn't be that bold because you got a firehouse right across the street or whatever. I mean, it's a government entity.
Shit, they burned down police stations.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about this was back, in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So we're talking about a whole different era. And I mean, I remember when the road wasn't there to go to that place and they had to blast through the rock to make the road go under the rail. Of course, I was like 4. So, Sax man, did you get banned off next door? Did you really? Are you shitting me?
I'm not.
Did
So
I read that message correctly? What the fuck did you do to get banned off next door?
I've been in Facebook jail. I've been in Instagram jail. The other day, yesterday actually, I tried to log in next door, and this is awesome. So, there was a discussion about this, beautiful place. A couple of called Stone Mountain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there was a person on there talking about how 30 years ago Stone Mountain was nothing but a bunch of rednecks that were wearing white sheets and pointy hats, and that's all Stone Mountain was. And I said, all I said was, hey, not everyone that you don't like is a Klansman. And, if people weren't fighting turf wars and building anti-American armies, or militias around there fighting turf wars, then it'd probably be a pretty nice place to live. Sure shit. I got banned.
But you didn't really. It's funny because I've noticed, of course, like Facebook and everything else, the moderators will step in and ban or yank your shit down if it's one side, but if it's the other, they'll let you say anything.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure she reported me.
I've reported people before for shit, and nothing happens.
Well, you gotta report stuff on there, like say that the other person told me that I'm not allowed to jerk off a donkey while climbing a fucking mountain peak or something. You got to say stuff like that. That'll get banned every time.
I don't know, man. Some moderators they might let that shit stand.
That's what I'm saying. You got to say that they said that to you.
Oh,
you're not allowed to ride a donkey upside down.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Oh.
Okay. Well,
I didn't know you get banned on Nextdoor. But
that takes skill, man.
What?
They keep trying to get me to be a moderator, and it's like I already want to delete the app as it is. You don't want me as a moderator because I'm gonna go off on somebody and get thrown off of it anyways.
Saxman, the truth is, T's already a moderator and he banned you.
Damn it, dude! Come on, man!
Come on, man. Oh, Vanguard called me out. I'll have to reinstate you later.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That'd be some shit.
Oh, damn.
You are now reinstated by user 75439 absentee. Oh, shit.
So, well, we've been all over the place. We've been in the weeds. We discussed Trump, no Trump, shit going on in the background. I think we did good tonight.
Yeah. A little bit of education about money.
Yep.
I'm gonna look into that further, man. It's just weird to me. I don't know.
I will too. Now that you brought it to my attention, I'm gonna be more cognizant of it. When I get off here, as a matter of fact, I've got to go up to the Wally World Market because I will not go to Wally World at night. I don't own enough automatic weapons. But I got to run up there with the wife, and if we use cash, I'll definitely pay attention.
Cool. All right. next door violator. You got anything to leave them with?
Yeah. So, you know, over the past couple of weeks, we've seen some bright spots, happen nationally. Focus on those guys. Don't focus on the bad stuff. Know about it. Be cognizant of it. But changes happen in little bitty in little increments. So, go out there, do what you can, fight the good fight. That's what I got.
Nice. What you got there, Absentee?
Kind of to hinge off what he said, what I'm going to tell you is if you got kids or grandkids, nieces, nephews, whatever, be involved, pay attention, ask them questions. I mean, you don't have to be one people just does like this, but the best time to find out what's going on in their lives is when you sit down at the table to eat. You don't. I mean, they'll pretty much tell you just about anything, not thinking because it's a relaxed atmosphere. And pay attention to what's going on in their lives, especially what's going on in school, things of that nature, because the only people that are going to be able to stop this shit is us. And despite what people may think or say, children are our number one resource. So that's all I got for tonight, folks.
Absolutely, absolutely. Children are. I mean, that's what we're leaving our country to, right? That's why we do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the protection and the betterment for generations to come. It's going to be an uphill battle the entire time. It's just like that. If you've got young kids or teenagers or whatever, I know it's hard to talk to a teenager, but ask them how their day was. Ask them what happened. Hey, how'd school go today or whatever. You'd be surprised how much you can figure out with a little bit of conversation. But,
it's like a Huey going off. Sorry.
Dude, that sounded wrong.
Floppa, 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 floppa. Oh, yeah.
Wow. You never think to get interrupted with some sort of sound bite like that?
I apologize.
Oh, that's fine, man. That's funny.
Oh, damn.
Shit.
Sorry.
Sorry, Bridget.
That's great. Never a dull moment. Palmetto, yeah, you're going to want to go back and rewatch. I guess it was a quarter of the way in to the video. We talked about just a real quick recap. We talked about no money has been printed since 2017, but yet we're still getting new bills. Kind of weird. It's just a tinfoil hat thing, kind of like they predicted that they would need this for other causes or whatever. But anyway, as I was saying, y'all talk to your kids. You'd be surprised how much information you can gather by just a small conversation over a nice dinner at night or whatever. Get your kids and get outdoors too. I mean, that's where you make peace at, is getting out into the wilderness and, kind of getting on a one-to-one basis. You'd be surprised how important that is to your children and that they look for that. I know I'm guilty of it. A lot of us is guilty of it. There's a lot of things I would like to have went back and done with my grandparents and, parents and stuff like that. I don't want to be that person, right? I don't want to be the one that didn't make time for that. So every off moment that I get, I normally spend it with my kids and family. So do that. Gather information. All the craziness is happening in the schools, not all of it, but most of it, indoctrinating and everything like that. So you can kind of get ahead of the curve by just getting a little bit of information from the source itself. But other than that, thank y'all for coming by. As always, Saxman, Absentee, thank y'all for being here.
Thanks, sir.
Everybody take care, even you, Jay, and your sidekick Moose. Anyway, we'll catch y'all Tuesday on a new live. See y'all.
Night, everyone.
Night, everybody.